Good evening, Nesby family. I'd like to thank you for spending this time here to log into the State of the Professionals presentation. I know it's probably been a long day, so I thank you guys for having that time. What I want to do here is just use this time to give you an update on what your Nesby professionals and your professional board have been doing for the year, things we've accomplished, how we're coping with our current state, and just try to give you some information that kind of can keep you engaged in what's going on with Nesby holistically. My name is Julius Hudson, and I have the pleasure of serving as your professionals chair for this year. As we embark on the new board towards the end of this month, the team this year is really now kind of finalizing some things and getting things ready for transition. But again, I want to use this opportunity. So get you some water and just sit back, and I'll present a little bit and then also leave the floor open for you guys to ask some questions towards the end. All right, Maurice, can you give it back to me?
Try sharing now.
All right, you see that?
Nah, I don't see it. All right, just give it a couple of seconds. Yep, just go full screen in your presentation or presentation mode. There you go.
All right, thank you, sir. Sorry about that, guys. As we start every meeting with the mission to increase the number of culturally responsible Black engineers who excel academically, succeed professionally, and positively impact the community. Also have our professionals value proposition, which the Nesby professionals inspire the next generation of technical professionals and serve as a catalyst for transforming the culture of engineering. I also want to, before we get started, I know everybody's on mute, but if you can observe just a moment of silence. And over the past year, and more recently, over the past week or so, we've had some losses to the Nesby family. It's not necessarily due to this COVID-19 situation. Sometimes things just happen in life as a whole. But I do want to take a moment of silence to just recognize our Nesby family nationwide that may be having a loss or currently dealing with a loss of a loved one in their family. So moment of silence, please. All right. Thank you guys for joining us as we just do that in remembrance of these people, these Nesby members. Excuse me. So what we have in store today, I want to just kind of briefly meet the team, give you a year glance roadmap of what we had on the table, talk about what the plan was, give you some updates from all of the zones, communications, finance, program, and membership, about chapter recognition, do an introduction to the next board and the leadership that will come after, and then open it up for questions. My team, the A team. This year's professional executive board was very diverse, and uh, new uh, new members on the board, seasoned members on the board. So we built a great bond on just leaning on each other throughout the year on our different areas of expertise. Also, just getting to know the membership and actually having regular communication. So I'm proud to be a leader of this executive board and to have them in place this year. They did some big things, and I'll show you some of the things as we continue. Now, I'll be remiss not to mention the extension of our executive board, but our special interest group directors who also have the privilege and the challenge to lead their respective special interest groups. So this is an image and picture of those directors who lead those special interest groups. And actually, all of them are on the first, well, some of them have been in their positions, but the majority of them are on the first year of their term. So I want to commend them on stepping up to that plate and actually having a good year and accomplishing things in their special interest group. So exciting to see more from them all. Thank you both, SIG directors, as well as my PEB. Roadmap, year at a glance. These next two slides are just to really illustrate what the planning was at the beginning of the year and how to utilize the months as a whole and different steps that would take place as a team to develop the plan for the year, understand what the membership wanted to see from a professional demographic, and also implement some things that will push us and excel us to years to come. Not going to hit each one of these, but as you see from July, we're at the start of NLC, National Leadership Training, or National Leadership Conference, where a lot of our training started, and everything is pretty much tied into months thereafter. As you see in September and October, we're really getting planning for the FRC season. As well as in August, we actually had our PDC in San Diego. So this was 2019. As we come to 2020, which all planning efforts with our repeatable processes and programming and bringing you workshops from our special interest groups, as well as planning for our TPC, Technical Professional Conference at National Convention. We unfortunately came into this COVID-19 situation late in February. Well, it was before February, but actually having to make decisions on conferences and planning and things of that sort. So we had to do a shift, had a lot of things planned as we led to National Convention to really display to you guys as the members some of the things that we have in place. And we've still been able to do that. We just had to change, I guess, the platform and the format in which we come to our membership as everyone is now dealing with a heavy virtual component now. So with that being said, shifting the mindset, NSBE professionals are leading and being a part of those discussions and how we now in April moving to having our first ever virtual leadership transition with the new boards, NEB, PEB included, as well as preparing for our first virtual career fair that will be at the end of April as well. So we are moving into the stage of being more proactive than reactive. But as you all can assume, it's a day-to-day process. Things change quite quickly. So NSBE has done a great job in keeping those communication lines open holistically with WHQ and the team to really try to, like I said, be more proactive in this situation. So this was just a glance of the roadmap. A couple of these slides I've shared throughout the year, but I wanted to really paint this whole picture of where we started and where we ended up. But Looking at what the vision was at the beginning of this year, if those that may remember, CPR was really what was aligned with Madam Chair Jocelyn's focus initiative or focus directives. But CPR really aligned with those, and again, that stands for continue the path, advancing our partnerships internally and as well as our external partners, and just really developing repeatable processes with our NSBE infrastructure, as well as all of the responsibilities that we have to you, not reinventing the wheel every time we start. And all three of these components have hit in every capacity of the professional executive board. It is also bled into our interactions with our collegiate counterparts and WHQ, I guess directly and indirectly. That just shows how aligned we were, we have been this year, and really continuing what we do well, and really keeping processes, repeatable processes, and our partnerships alive. So now getting a little bit into the meat and potatoes, after developing the structure and the vision that we wanted to follow, and really part of this repeatable process, we felt a need for the professionals to really develop our strategic plan. To lo and behold, as an organization, later that month, it was decided that we actually do a national strategic plan as well, which was timing couldn't have been any better, because it allows for, and it is allowing for a lot of synergies. But as a board, myself along with the PEO, we had a session, working session, where we sat down and just put out a blueprint and strategies for this year. And we really framed our strategies and goals into 3 buckets. What we wanted to accomplish, the first year, this current year, what we wanted to have in an immediate short term from year 1 to 3, and then finally just a 3 to 5 year goal, just not stretching it out too far, but really putting a full 5-year plan and commit to that, and actually see what our fruits would be after working on those. So the next couple slides will just give you each one of those points, and got it color coded just so you can kind of get a feeling of where we are in those areas. And it's just like the stoplight: green, yellow, and red. Green being success, with yellow being in progress, and then red of no action. So for our current NSBE year, increasing our revenue base, PDC, and our professional development conference attendance, and as well as our partnerships throughout the year, really impacted that increase. I'll talk a little bit more about that. Just increasing the knowledge of our chapter health initiative for professionals, our CHIP program. I'll just hit a couple of these points, not to get on each one, but as you can tell, for this year, we've gotten some action and actually gotten some progress, which is great. I'm happy to see all of these, at least in the yellow. Some of these are not in the professional's full control, i.e. the improvement of the website, but I do want to indicate that there has been some motion and some movement in that, and our comms team right now is working with the web development team to actually get us a product out that's beneficial to the society. So these are some areas where this year alone we have gotten some motion, and I'm pretty happy to say, we should be able to put a lot of these in green sometime soon. Sorry about that. All right. Now, 1 to 3 year strategic goals, there's some overlap. Some of these items we've been able to actually start, as you can see, what's in yellow. establishing and increasing conversation with our collegiate membership. Also, our growing relationships with our Board of Corporate Affiliate and non-BCA partners. You know, a lot of this is not, you know, it's going to span over the first year all the way to 3 years. You also would notice we do have some reds as far as some of our special interest group focuses, cadence, and actually, that actually should be yellow for the first one that I have red, because we have established a good cadence, and we're putting a system together with our monthly programming, webinars, and also just some of the structure that we have. So that actually should be yellow. So that will be modified once these are available. But you would also see, I have one orange in there, and I wasn't able, because of the fact that that was on the ballot. Interesting enough, we didn't plan it like that. It kind of just happened. But at the time of preparation, it was on the ballot. It did not pass, but it did start a great conversation on what we needed from a membership dues perspective, and how we could utilize the increase to help provide better services to our membership. So the positive of that whole interaction was that it started conversation, and then we can be better prepared to go down that road again. And then finally, as I go to our last slide here for 3 to 5 years, quite naturally, a lot of these things would be in red. We have not directly started to work on some of these things, but indirectly, as we accomplish some of the items in our current year, as well as our 1 to 3 year, we will quite obviously make some positive strides to get some of these in yellow. But these are what some people call audacious goals, but they are very feasible once we actually follow the plan and get some good traction on years 2 and 3. So I'm excited about this. Just on a side note, now that we're working on a national, we've worked, like the society has worked on a national strategic plan. There will be some time for, I know, the next incoming board to really align what we've done so far and make some adjustments or add some benefits and things like that to the whole plan. But the whole goal purpose was to develop a process of goals and objectives to accomplish, so we can get measures as we proceed. So moving on to our communication update. ComZone is awesome. I would say that all zones are awesome, but the ComZone is awesome. And I say this because we do a lot of work on our boards, and we have to, it's null and void if we're not able to get the information out to you guys. I've been on several boards prior to this, as well as some other members, and you know, we've had a challenge with that. Now we haven't solved the full puzzle holistically, but we have made good strides in getting our social media outlets up and going and active, getting our newsletters and our news blast out to you. Hopefully you guys have had a chance to enjoy the newsletters that come monthly to you, and just starting to really utilize some of the other tools we have, like our YouTube channel. I know that our special interest group, Entrepreneur SIG, utilizes the YouTube channel for storing some good material, as well as a lot of our webinars are stored and ran simultaneously on YouTube and some of these social platforms. So this data lets you know where we are. 2 other interesting first year experiences that we had was utilizing the Facebook workspace, which is sort of like not sort of like but it was an instant messaging services similar to GroupMe, which allows you to chat, do videos and things of that sort we started to implement it from a board's perspective and then reached out to our full professionals demographic. And I'm happy to say, and I didn't respond a lot to our full group, but I enjoyed the conversations that members would have on those chats, and provide a good insight and good platform for people to share a lot of good information. Second tool that we utilized, which was a treat at our professional development conference in San Diego this year, was the WOVA app, which took the place of our typically used guidebook. As a professional and the comps team, they brought that to the professionals board, and we pretty much were the trial group to see how this platform worked and compared it to guidebook. And I'm pleased to say I enjoy the communication and how we utilize this app during that conference. And we got great reviews. We got very good reviews from people who attended the conference, and looking forward to possibly continuing to use this platform for different events to come. All right. So now, just to give you some information from a financial perspective, and let me go back. The comp zone is led by Maurice Patterson, who's a former PEB chair. Our finance zone led by Michael Boswell. Provided some information from a financial perspective, but so over halfway through our third quarter currently, our NSBE professionals are having a very solid year. Just at the end of March, from a budget perspective, we were about at a little over 100% of our target overall revenue, which from a budget perspective leads all the way into August of 2020. So again, this is really, really heavily drawn upon, and you'll see in the third section here, our PDC registration and attendance, where we hit roughly 200% of our target revenue. And then from our board of corporate and both from our board of corporate affiliates contribution from a sponsorship perspective, and as well as our job postings, pretty much being at 90%. Our job postings are the fee that we assess those companies to advertise for employment opportunities. The interesting fact in that is that, not the interesting, but yeah, as you can tell, we were trending very well, and we are trending very well to have a successful 2019, 2020 year. But of course, the convention shift and then just the reallocation and of different funds to support this organization as it maneuvers through this pandemic is a challenge, and it will impact all budgets across the board, all strategies, and some conventions as we had to postpone and then unfortunately cancel another. But on the heels of this COVID-19, the professionals are expected to make budgetary modifications and planning. The projected revenue for next fiscal year is currently being assumed to be a 30% decrease than the current budget. But the team now, the finance zone now, is working together to develop the budget for next year, and also working on our current budget to try to make ends meet. The good thing is, I think from a society perspective, we were trending well to have a good fiscal year. And good, of course, I think is meaning not either in the black or not too far in the black. I mean, the red. But really won't know until this virtual career fair, and then we actually participate in our 46th convention in San Antonio, where we actually will end up, for this physical year and how we approach next year. So I would say just continue to inquire about those. If that's a piece of information that you really want to know, continue to talk with your finance representatives for your chapter and have them, talk to regionally and national counterparts. But the main two factors, like I'm saying, is really the corporate engagement and support from the companies. We're anticipating that will be lower because of the pandemic as people adjust their companies. And then the fact of not having our professional development conference for 2020-21 will be an impact on our budget. So we're just going to continue to stay faithful and plan accordingly. And this too shall pass. From a programming perspective, Paula McCall leads our program zone. And here are some highlights from a pre-college initiative and a college initiative standpoint. PCI was able to streamline and standardize some FRC programming, again, part of the repeatable processes. Each region presented the same workshops provided by the National Program Zone, which was great. It shows some synergies there. You guys can kind of go through this whole slide, but a couple other points I wanted to hit was really establishment and the renewal of our membership MOUs in support of the NSBE 2025 vision. And then founding a year-round programming offered by NSBE Juniors, which was very key, and a PCI members. So that's from a PCI perspective. From a CI perspective, really having an opportunity this year to pilot launch. If you haven't heard it, we call it the ECA, which is the Engineering Career Academy. This is a collegiate and professional joint program, which is geared to provide members with skills and tools needed to achieve workforce readiness. We actually are utilizing different BCA utilizing a contractor to help develop the structure, who has actually involved different members from different chapters to gain information on how this program could assist the chapters or assist the members themselves. Holistically, we're really looking for this career academy to provide that professional development component for our collegiate counterparts. And then as we grow the program, to really do the same thing for our professionals. So this is a pilot, and it is currently being worked on now. So I'm be excited to see what the results are of the pilot, and then how we proceed to our next phase. From a technical excellence perspective, this really includes our special interest groups and our young technical professionals. As I stated earlier, this year the six have been very, very active for us this year, participating in the Essence Festival, BMES annual convention, SWE annual convention, the Congressional Black Caucus annual legislative conference as well. And not just being attendees, but actually being leaders in those conferences, and actually having positions of providing workshops, teaming with those other entities to provide just different platforms within those conferences. So that's excellent to hear. Partners with Amazon and Carpentries to provide industry recognized training for our professional development professionals at PDC. Again, our San Diego PDC was not just excellent from an attendance perspective, but utilizing those companies and partnering with those companies to actually provide the services and the content it was very enriching from a professional development perspective. So, and then we also used this to increase our membership engagement through our professional executive board town hall series. And then members engaging in different programs. So the membership engagement program being launched also in Region 6 was another beneficial thing that happened this year. Now, things that have been newly implemented, we have the opportunity, and this is something that we work with the NEB, the National Executive Board, on, but we provided an Ed Barnett Community Impact Scholarship now for, I think, the past 4 years, 3 to 4 years. But now we've been able to really now establish an endowment. What that does is it really puts roots into this scholarship, where we can now, give on the principle, and actually, as we raise money year in and year out, we'll be in a better position to continuously give this scholarship. And this scholarship is available for collegiate and professionals alike. So this is very interesting for the society. I think it's the first endowment that we have. So that was a very big win for the professionals to really establish that. And then also just the foundation of year-round engagement to our membership through our town hall series. It's a work in progress. We were asked to start something and to provide training or provide services to you, the member, outside of convention or outside of our conferences. And this was one of our first attempts in trying to do that, and learned a lot this year, and plan to grow this webinar series even more years to come. All right. Membership update. This is led by our chair-elect, Ms. Camila Majid. Our membership zone, which consists of our membership chair as well as our regional chairs, they really teamed together this year to really develop a campaign around the National Convention theme, but really making this professionals membership campaign our own. And the theme for this year was join the 2019-2020 technical revolution. What you see in this slide here is just a lot of the media that had gone out this year about our membership, about really engaging with NSBE, about really, signing up, giving your dues, being an active member, really having a voice and a face. And the membership zone really did it this year through the top 5. I know if you on any of the platforms, you saw all of these pictures on all of our social media and all of our on our website, which really talks about the top 5 reasons you engage and you be a member of NSBE professionals. There were some videos of some personal testimonies by our chairs and some members of the PEB as well, that really talked to the chair's personal commitment to the society and reason for joining NSBE. And then there were some great videos shared throughout the year just on that same subject matter, what it is to be a NSBE professionals. So, it was board members, it was chapter members, there were, regular members, just all involved in this campaign. And it really showed a good connection from our chairs that they were really engaged, within their regional areas. And then lastly, just developing a membership swag to actually give different tokens at different times to our membership. That is an image of some swag that was given at our PDC. Okay, so from a membership engagement, this is also part of, from the full campaign of the membership zone. Our membership engagement elements, as you can see, the top 5 in the middle, continuing employment with opportunities to influence and mentor the next generation. all the way down to engage with one of the most prominent organizations dedicated to the Black technical professional. And as you can see, these are things to the left and the right of those top 5 are really focus areas that we knew that we had to engage in, appealing to our employee research groups, really get our companies and companies alike to just sponsor memberships, dealing with company sponsored memberships like I think Bowen had did it before, and Lockheed Martin had also been participating in companies actually investing in their employees by providing them NSBE membership. Our appeal to our future or increasing our pipeline was really appealing to our graduating seniors. At the last convention, we had a great GSR. It was highly publicized and highly attended. We were anticipating the same thing this upcoming convention. But we haven't had that yet. And then also our dues waiver program. This program was actually on the brink of actually being canceled due to its, I wouldn't say ineffectiveness, but I just think it was not publicized the way it should be. But our membership chair, along with our WHQ counterparts, really worked to get a really good system together. Again, a repeatable process and some structure behind this program. And as you can see the note at the bottom, as of the 1st of April, we currently have 176 members have taken advantage of this waiver program. That's impactful because at the end of our 2018-19 year, we only had 37 people that participated in that. So this is excellent as it pertains to help keeping that interest in our collegiate counterparts. Oh, okay. Next couple slides, I'm just going to run through some data. It really is going to be to help you understand what our regions look like and how we fare from a membership perspective nationally. This first slide is really professional classification and then membership campaign. From a work experience perspective, as you see this chart and how we broke up the pie, goes from 1 year out all the way to 16 plus. It's a pretty average pie across the board as our current membership demographics. Now to the right, it's just really giving you a comparison of where we are now currently as of the 1st of August to where we ended up, what our goals are, not where we ended up, but what the goals were for the year holistically. And as you can see, we were trending pretty well on a lot of our goals here. We go to this next slide. Okay. This group really talks about our total professional membership by region, and it's broken down, of course, in lifetime to professionals. The good thing to note is we were able to provide you with that delta, letting you compare where we are now with where we were around the same time last year. Both the chart and the graph show the same thing, just different illustrations. As you will see, there is a lot of increase. That 66% was heavily due to our shift in our international membership and how we renew those members. Last year, they were included in the total of our full membership. This year, including them, that's where you see that biggest deficit. But I have another slide as we move on that kind of breaks down our stateside membership as well. Let you guys look at that. What you're looking at now is really our domestic professional membership by region. And it's actually cross-shown against where we were last year around the same time. As you can see, everybody has increased to some capacity. So I'll let you guys kind of look at these numbers here. And I really think and feel a lot of this is due to, like I said, our regional chairs and their zones and their boards really investing in developing communications with our chapters throughout the regions. It's just a little extra information from a degree type currently. I mean, from a professional perspective, a lot of times, some professionals are working in different fields from their degree type, but it's always good to know from our membership totals, where those degrees lie. So this is just a quick glide to kind of see where different engineering professions lie in our current total. And this last one here from a data perspective is really big picture. This is a little bit more current. I know, no, it's about average. It's about the same time frame. But it really shows where we ended up last year, which was a great year. It was our largest move for professionals at, just over 4,400. It shows where we increased in our life memberships. This even provides our retention rate over this year. And then also our attraction to graduating seniors and corporate members. Again, those all align with what was given in the previous slide of our corporate partners, and as well as the different things that we did this year from a collegiate perspective. And this is our projection for the end of the year. We should be at 5,000, and that will hit our goal. This increases, this will be a 12% increase from where we were previous year, which is awesome, So to all my zones and zone leaders, as your chair, I do want to say thank you and great job. Great job in just setting, doing the work all year, and also setting the platform for our next group of leaders. So I truly thank you for all the work that you have and are doing. So along that same line, I do want to recognize our chapters this year. Typically we would have an opportunity, in March to do this recognition, but it got pushed to August. But I do want to use this platform to recognize a few chapters. To my RTP chapter, Research Triangle Professionals, congratulations on being the National Professional Chapter of the Year. Give a hand clap to that. And also the National Professional Development Program of the Year. Again, you've been recognized in our newsletter and on this platform, but we look forward to providing you the recognition as well at convention. So good job. To our Atlanta professionals, congratulations on being the National Professionals Pre-College Initiative Program of the Year, PCI Program of the Year. So congratulations to you as well, Atlanta professionals. Great job. Atlanta love the kids, but we will be recognizing you as well. To our Richmond professionals, congratulations on having the National Collegiate Initiative, CI, Program of the Year. Congratulations to you. Fantastic job of continuing that pipeline. and really reaching out to our collegiate counterparts. And lastly, to our Houston professionals, H-Town, for having the National Professionals Torch Program of the Year. Congratulations to Houston. Good job. You guys really, as a chapter, really lead the way and provide great services to our membership. And for that, we all thank you. So it is hard to say goodbye. I'm still around and still working to make sure that the groundwork is laid to pass the torch, to see what new things our next chair can bring to our membership and to bring to you as the society as a whole. And having the privilege to work with Ms. McGee this year as a chair-elect has been a very pleasant experience, a good honor. She has really kept me on my toes, as well as the entire PEB, with structure, with guidance, with love, with the rod, all that you expect from a chair-elect. So I do want to give her the opportunity, and I'll control your slides, Camila, but I do want to give her an opportunity to speak with you guys and also allow you to formulate any questions you may have for her or myself when we get to the Q&A. So with that being said, I would like to introduce Ms. Camila Majid, our current PEB chair-elect and our incumbent chair.
Great. Thank you, Chair Hudson. I definitely appreciate. I don't know if everybody has the option in the bottom of their screen, but I think Chairman Julius Hudson deserves a round of applause for a job well done this year. So I have my video on so you guys can see me clapping. Thank you so much, Chairman Hudson, for leading us under CPR this year and really staying firm on what our NSBE professionals' vision and focus is. You know, we are here and we're here to continue all the excellent work. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Big shoes to fill, literally. All right, well, look who has got next. My God, it's almost time. So first of all, thank you so much for those who attended the conference last year in Detroit when I was running the campaign. And I was so graciously honored that you selected me to fulfill this role. This has been a year of learning to really adjust in a new role. Of course, not having served as chair-elect. I've served in many other positions in NSBE since I joined way back in 1996. But really, really happy to take on this next role and continue the great work of our mission. So it gives me great pleasure to be taking on the role of National Chairperson for the professionals starting May 1st. My God, it's 15 days away. And I have the great honor of having an amazing list of people, and I'd like to at least recognize them by name. All of these people have stepped up to serve on the board for 2020, 2021. And I want to tell them thank you before they even embark on the job. Thank you so much for stepping up to do this role and do the great work. So allow me to just run through the names very, very quickly. Chair-elect for this upcoming year is Dr. Renisha Worthy. Secretary is Townsend Brown. Treasurer, Alex Isaac. Programs Chair, Paula McCall. Chair Emeritus will be Julius Hudson. Publicist, Takia Saab. Treasurer-elect, Alexa Cotman. Finance Chair, Johnny Tangle. Our 2020 Professional Development Conference Committee Chairman, Dr. Reginald Archer. Our 2021 Technical Professionals Conference Chair for Orlando is Dr. Anderson Pruitt. College Initiative Chair, Victoria Hills. Membership Chair, Eric Bryant. Region 1 Chair, Angelina Edwards. Region 2 Chair, Dr. Richard Ezike. Region 3 Chair, Michael Agbare. Region 4 Chair, Shari Briggs. Region 5 Chair, Gregory Reeves. And Region 6 Chair, Victoria Gray. So thank you all to you all for stepping up to continue the work. There'll be more opportunities available for people to serve. So stay connected to us via social media to hear more. So let's look at the next slide at what we are previewing. I am so happy to really embark on this opportunity to lead the NSBE professionals. I have already had several meetings with our incoming Madam Chair for our NEB, Ms. Jocelyn Jackson, and she has shared with me that she plans to continue her 3 directives from this year into the upcoming year. And those 3 directives are lead with purpose, leverage the NSBE ecosystem, and secure the future of NSBE. As Chairman Hudson articulated earlier, what our NSBE professionals' vision is, it is clearly there and articulated. And I'm very proud to share with you that my mission this year for the 2020-2021 NSBE Professionals Pathway is to have excellence in membership. So you'll be hearing more about that. Next slide. Excellence in membership. What that means is that members, you, all of you that I can see through this screen, and those of you who are tuning in from Ghana, Nigeria, and all across the United States and all parts of the world, you members are the heartbeat of NSBE. Your greatest way to serve the organization is to be a member and embody the mission in all that you do. So we are going to make sure that we follow through and making you know what being a member is all about. Next slide. And just a quick preview, these are the areas that we're going to concentrate in. As Chairman Hudson indicated, we've really forged ahead with a lot of groundwork this year. All of my predecessors as chairpersons have done tremendous jobs and really keyed into different areas to focus on. And we have themes that we're looking at for this year. I've already met with the incoming PEO, professional executive officers, and we are really forging our way in how we're going to be embarking on the vision of excellence in membership. So just a quick rundown for each zone, we have a sub-theme that we're following. Membership zone will focus on membership at the core. The administrative zone will focus on structure and standardization. The communication zone will be looking at innovative communication, 360 degrees. The finance zone will focus on financial wellness to make sure that we have a great book of business that is healthy in all ways. And bringing it home, our program zone will focus on excellence and programs execution. So really looking forward to that. Of course, as we typically do, I will be hosting a webinar coming up in May. You will see more about that for all of you who are tuned in to all of our social media channels. And I will be able to take a deeper dive and telling you all what it's about to really focus and work with us in excellence in membership. So thank you so much for your support. I really look forward to continuing to stay engaged. We are the Black technical professionals that are leading us on this way this year. And though we're in a virtual space, we certainly will forge a way and make sure we do the great work of NSBE. So I thank you for continuing your membership. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman.
15 days I'll be chairman. Don't give up yet. You got 15 days. Come on, Chairman Hudson. Finish strong. All right.
Okay, at this time, and let's do a check on this clock. It's 8:26 Eastern Standard Time. Wanted to allow for about, Maurice, we good for about 15 minutes of questions?
Yeah, you can do 15, 20 minutes.
Okay. Did want to allow for 15 minutes or so of some back and forth dialogue, and it could be addressed to any of the information that was shared, any questions you have for our incoming chair or myself. So how are we going to run with this? I'm gonna read the questions off.
I think Takia is going to read. There's some questions that have already come in, Chairman Hudson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's some questions that have already been posted. So Takia, are you off of mute? If not, I can go ahead and read the first one just for time purposes. Okay, so the first question has come in from Perry Walker. Perry Walker is also one of our former National PEB chairs. Hi, Perry. And I'll read the question out for you, Chairman Hudson. It says, the strategic plans have many items focused on the organization and leadership. What is the professional membership looking for from NSBE, and how can the strategic plan support what is critical for the membership?
Mr. Perry and his questions. So it was actually 3 questions in there, right? What was the first one again?
The first one, yeah, the first one says the strategic plans is focusing more so on organization and leadership. So that question is, what is the professional membership looking for from NSBE? That's the first question.
And I will preference this from the dialogue that I've seen over the past 4 to 5 years on what the professional membership is looking for from NSBE. Holistically, just inclusion in programming opportunities. This is again from my perspective. Inclusion in professional development opportunities, again, outside of national conference. The good thing that we did when I was chair-elect under Anthony Murphy, we actually gave a survey out to the membership and used that data from the survey to really develop our strategic plan. So where you did make some points that there are some certain keystones in the current strategic plan, that's really based on the data that was provided. And really, once we really dissected the data of what the membership was asking for, we realized that, one, we had to develop the infrastructure to hold that. Really, for example, developing, this webinar series as a purposely intentful response to the question of having additional training outside of conventions. We noticed that we didn't have that set up. So that was our response to that. How the membership zone really engaged in engaging our membership. That was also some information from that survey where different members from different regions felt as if their voice wasn't being recognized or heard. So it's not really a one-off answer to that, but what I will say is that we are using that grassroots survey along with additional information that we've gathered this year with our planning and our structured sessions to really provide the membership with what they're asking for. So that's to that first part of the question. And if anyone else, I know Eric is really a key component and was really involved in developing that survey. Mm-hmm. And not to really get into the weeds, but I don't know if Eric wanted to provide additional impact as I go to the second part of that question.
While we try to unmute Eric, I will add this, is that Michelle Sheffield is a new director of membership. And since she joined a couple months ago, what the membership zone has done is met with her and her team, and we are now collaborating on ways to engage members and deliver member benefits. So even just recently in our meeting last week, we were talking about, planning forward for the upcoming membership campaign, looking at member benefits. So there's a lot of good work that's starting. Even my successor, Dr. Renisha Worthy, who I'll be transitioning responsibilities from membership zone over to her to work with Eric and Michelle. They're going to be working on some really great plans to engage the members. That's something that's really key. I do see Eric on, but I'm not sure if he's able to be unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. You're on, Eric B.
Okay. So I'll make a couple of comments that come out of the professional membership opinion survey that were performed during the summer of 2019. And I think there are a couple of things that stood out as being critical for us, and we've tried to incorporate in the strategic planning process for us as we try to support and give members what they're looking for and asking for. I think one of the key things that's a gap for us, or something we need to improve and we recognize that we have to shape and work on a regular basis, is making sure that our members are informed with the information they're looking for. And so I know that the communication zone has done a great job and a lot of work around our platforms. We really have an opportunity to address our content and make sure that it's aligned with what members are looking for. And so that's an ongoing process that all of the zones, program zone, membership zone, communication zone, finance zone, all have a responsibility in trying to make sure we have the right kind of content you're looking for from a communications perspective, and then using those platforms that we've developed over the past year to get that information out to you. The other thing I will point to is really from a membership value perspective, making sure from that survey perspective, we're hitting the targets as it relates to professional development, as well as alignment with your passions from a community outreach and community impact perspective, and finding ways to get our members involved in programming that really touches the heart of NSBE's mission as it relates to you personally and how you feel it. So trying to figure out how those programs are shaped and put together so that you receive value from it and feel the connection of being a NSBE member, using what skills and talents you have as members to actually achieve NSBE's mission is obviously one of the other areas that stood out in the survey as something we want to continue to promote and make sure is being connected, so that you guys feel the value beyond simply having paid your dues, to say there's more for me to contribute to NSBE than just the dues that I pay on an annual basis. So hopefully that addresses the question. Anyone has any follow-ups, they can email me.
All right, shall we go to the next question?
Yeah, thank you, Eric.
All right. All right, so the next question says, what plans does the board have to maintain older NSBE professionals, age 30 and over? Because during the presentation, it was mentioned that the board is working on converting collegiate members to professional members. But what is being done for older professionals?
Great question, especially since I fall in the older professional category as well. And this is the area that's truly dear, because I'm in that same group. But we've noticed that for a more seasoned demographic, you know, we as members always want to do the give back portion, you know, the mentorship portion. But for those that are seasoned, there's also a personal interest in development that we also have seen. So providing those services and providing them well is one way that we saw as a board where we can attract our seasoned professionals from those that are interested in professional development. Again, using that survey that myself and Eric spoke on, there was that same question in the survey of, you know, how do we attract those members? And then also they provided some more insight on what those demographic are looking for. And more professional development was one. More return on investment, which is like partnering with our partners and companies to provide more services to you as well. So everything is not NSBE led. I got that a lot where, you know, people want to actually participate in sessions and webinars that have our industry professionals outside of NSBE leadership. So we've done that, and we're doing that, and we continue to develop different partners. The other thing that we do, and I think we've done well, there's always areas for improvement, but over the past 2 to 3 years on our conferences and how our finance team has developed our partnerships, we've really had to kind of, you know, go outside the box and really address partners that are not typical to NSBE. At our PDCs, we really go forth and try to partner with companies, small businesses, larger companies that are focused in that area. And a lot of those partners have stayed on to follow us to, you know, the next conference and things like that. So developing and nurturing those relationships actually adds more meat to the professional brand. And, you know, then we can offer more things than just the mentor opportunity. It's actually a place where we as professionals can get development. So that's one area that I know I focused on and my team this year focused on. I know that's dear to our incoming chair, and she also has some ideas. Did you want to kind of express anything that you might be looking to do in the future, Camila, to add to that?
Yeah, definitely. Ooh, am I off of mute? Yes, yeah, definitely for sure. Just continuing the excellent work that has come out of the membership zone. I think that it is always our duty to identify what keeps members engaged, right? And it's different based on demographics. One of the things that we preliminary talked about is really targeting folks who are now, in a space where they have families, because what you need from a professional society is quite different. And as you mentioned, Chairman Hudson, things have really shifted now with COVID-19. We have to look at how we engage members in a different way. So I definitely think that many of you should really kind of stay connected to us, as we articulate some of those plans as to how to keep you engaged. Actually, the next question kind of ties to that as well, if you don't mind me reading that out, Chairman.
Okay.
The comment says, I struggle with getting members to join nationally. Can you offer a few talking points? So if I can, before you say anything, Chairman, the membership zone is actually transitioning over an effort that just started in the last 2 months, where we're putting together what we call membership campaign playbook. And there is a lot of great ideas, a lot of good work that the current chairs and also the incoming chairs have been exchanging. And we're looking to see how we can really get that out to chapters, because I think that that has been something that has been a challenge. Just like you get members to engage with you and be a part of your chapter, but then in order to be recognized as a NSBE member, you have to pay your dues nationally. So definitely from the member, I don't know if she wants me to mention her name, who put that comment, I think that's something that we're all well aware of, and all the regional chairs that are on, let's make sure that that goes in our agenda and we make good on that and get back to our chapter leaders, because it is something that's important.
And to add just, I guess, some talking points, because I'm a member of the Dallas DFW chapter as well. And that also is always a huge question of concern of how do we promote the national component. And I think a few years back, it was actually vice versa. More people were doing national versus chapter. So what I would offer them as well as you is really, from a chapter perspective, really kind of lean to the importance of being a fully committed member, not just from just a membership perspective to access all benefits, which there are several benefits that are good for professionals. But it's really also just as a commitment for the chapter. If the chapter is actually doing good work and actually wants to participate in a lot of the chip initiatives and be based and be in the running for different chapter awards, chapter sponsorships. It's value in membership, having access to jobs. It's a challenging question because every professional member is different. I mean, from a group, we hit groups that need employment opportunities. We hit groups that really want to just focus on the membership or mentorship from a CI or a torch perspective. And then you have a heavy emphasis on that PCI demographic, where we have huge professional chapters really being leaders in there. So you really have to, I guess, go on the area of what's interesting for that person. Because from a PCI perspective, being nationally recognized allows you to get national support from your PCI group, as well as your CI group. From a professional perspective, it gives you access to, from a financial perspective, as well as just access to job opportunities and conference rates and registration and things like that. It's not an easy question to ask because it's different for everybody, but hopefully that's a little more than just your typical answer that you can do.
Yeah. And also, Chairman, this year with the membership campaign, the group came up with top 5 reasons that we think, could cover some areas. So I would definitely, err to that side to take a look at those talking points will help to engage members or potential members.
Can I add a really quick point since you still have me available to speak?
Go ahead, Mr. Membership Chair.
So I just speak again to what we got feedback from our membership survey on, 94% of our members said that they stay in NSBE and pay their national dues for the opportunities to network with other professionals, particularly professional members that are like them, in other words, other African-American engineers. So I would really play up, if you're looking for a place to start as to why to pay member dues, is the expanded and extended network of African-American professional engineers that you have access to, beyond simply the network that you have locally, right? We also often hear, and I've heard it over and over again in my own engagement with the local members that I have in my local chapter, oh, I only want to stay in this region, or I only want to connect with the people who are here locally. Well, reality is, if you want to advance, you may want to stay in your location, but just having that expanded network to be able to bounce ideas in your particular profession can be an adder to your ability to do what you want to do locally. So I would encourage you to start there, because that's what drives most of our members to want to stay in NSBE and pay their NSBE dues.
All right, we've got about 6 more questions in the queue, so I'll just go right along. The next one says, I was not registered for the NSBE conference in San Antonio, but I would like to attend the upcoming virtual career fair at the end of this month. Is there a way to still register?
There will be, and if I don't know if Johnny Tango is on the call, I'll let him speak on it if you can get him off of mute. But there will be an opportunity to register for the virtual career fair. I know that team has really been sending a lot of emails today and finalizing what those rates would be, and actually ways to get the information to our social media platforms and things of that sort. So there will be an opportunity for those that had not registered for the conference to register for this virtual career fair, and that will be coming out soon. Is Johnny on to give any more dates? And the reason I asked Johnny, because I know he's working with our finance team and the people who are developing the verbiage to put that out. But the short answer to your question is yes, you will be able to.
Yeah, I don't see Johnny on, but if you go to NSBE Connect and register like you would for a convention, you can register for the virtual career fair now.
Okay, it's live now. Excellent.
Yep. All right, so Chairman, I'll move right along to the next question. So it says from the presentation earlier, are those membership numbers reduced because we sign up members during the national conference? It's a 3-part question. So you want me to read all 3 or just one by one?
You can read them all.
Okay, then it also says, are the percentage of members' professional disciplines representative of the general population, people of color? And then it also says, can you repeat what yearly infrastructure we put in place for NSBE Junior PCI members?
All right. Is that number reduced? It's really, if you're comparing it from 19 to last year to this year, of course, this year hasn't completed yet, but yes, there is a spike in membership during the national convention. But our NSBE year actually goes over till August, and not just at the NSBE convention. So we still have a few more months, and we spike at national convention, and we also spike as we enter into the new NSBE physical year. So the anticipation is that we will be doing the same this year. The second question was percentage.
Yeah, are the percentage of members professional disciplines representative of the general population and also of people of color?
Well, that percentage that I provided was based on the current NSBE membership. So that would be yes and yes. It is percentage of color. If you're asking if it's based off of the United States or some other matrix, it's just based off of the professional membership registered, the recognized professional membership, dues paying membership.
Okay.
And
Shelley.
the third one about PCI,
Mhm.
the question was, can I provide information about longstanding PCI programming?
No, it says, can you repeat what yearly infrastructure we put in place for NSBE Junior and PCI members?
What yearly infrastructure? As I think, by any chance, is Dom on the phone from a PCI perspective?
I don't see him on the list, no. But what we can probably do is have that question saved and actually I'll send a message back to the person that asked the question and we could probably follow up offline, Chairman.
Yeah, we can totally do that. And I was asking him about the PCI chair. That's Dominic. But yes, whoever asked that, we can follow up.
Okay, I'll send a note back. All right, so I'll go to the next question because our Sir Secretary has said we've got about 5 minutes and then we have to wrap up. So the next question says, I see NSBE partnering with organizations to increase NSBE Junior chapters. How are the NSBE professionals engaged in these efforts?
Well, I do know with some of the partnerships that we've developed recently here, it's kind of been members who have been a part of both the partnering company and NSBE. And typically those are professional members, which then also tie down to being professional members of certain chapters. So I know some of the first time connections is really based on that. Now from other MOUs and things moving forward, I do know our program zone chair, as well as myself, have been involved in a lot of conversations with not only just the restructure of existing ones, but how do we go out and address some new partnering ones for not just PCI, but for other demographics as well. So from a conversation piece, we are at the table and having these conversations. And then also we are actually leading some of these conversations. Me personally, I know I've gotten involved with a few organizations that have a professional interest in mind and that want to develop some MOUs with NSBE to have joint memberships as well. So those are just the different areas and demographics, but to that specific PCI piece, our involvement is the fact that, we have members that are in both and that know the needs of NSBE as well as needs of the partnering companies, or companies or organizations.
Chairman, may I also just remind our members that, one of the MOU relationships that NSBE established was with the Links. And if for those that attended the Detroit convention last year, it was announced that I think well over 70 NSBE Junior chapters were established due to that relationship. And I'm sure it's much past that now. So that's an example to what you articulated, Chairman.
Thank you. Good ad.
Okay, so there's quite a few more that came in, so I'm gonna go straight. So this question surrounds the SIGs. It says many of the special interest groups and members are engaged in response activities for COVID-19. Obviously, the Public Policy SIG did a town hall last week where there was a lot of great information. The Healthcare Innovation SIG also has a growing list of requests to do things with external members. So the question is there a directive from the NEB, PEB, WHQ regarding what NSBE's response will be and what the focus will be to collaborate with other organizations? And is there a task force?
And is this regarding COVID-19?
Yes.
Yes and yes. I will say, to answer in reverse, there's a task force currently. More so, well, no, it's a lot involved around just how NSBE will respond to COVID-19. But there are components also of this task force of how this situation has affected NSBE and how we also interact with the public. Yes, there are daily conversations. It's just really figuring out what to do first. A lot of things up until now, the huge focus has really been how do we maintain the infrastructure of NSBE itself. But of course, as we move along week by week, we do have to tailor our conversations and now use this, find opportunity in how NSBE can actually be um, leaders in this in us coming out of this COVID-19 on top. So there are conversations really heavily in the professional demographic, I know. There are also conversations I know led by Madam Chair um, with our different BCA affiliates that have offered different support to NSBE. Um, Details on what's being coming out, we're still in the infant stage of it. But I will ask for all those that are interested and that have a pulse with NSBE to really engage in the special interest groups, public policy SIG, and to continue to ask those questions as we move forward past COVID-19, because I would love to see NSBE on the innovative end of this, providing services or providing opportunities, or at least providing the platform to what do we do next. Um, so hopefully that's what I got for you now. Again, we're just getting out of the reactive stage and being a little more proactive. So hopefully that provides some insight. And how are we on time, Maurice? We got.
We have 5 minutes before the next call starts.
All right.
So you should try to wrap this up if you can.
Yeah. Is the next one a short one, or is that we cutting it?
It could be. I'll say it really quickly. It says, in my tenure with the organization, I found members in cities without large corporate headquarters, membership engagement is very low. How can we reach members who are not on the C-suite path, such as manufacturing, production type fields?
A few suggestions. I know our our employee resources groups. I know you said they don't have large corporations, but tend to stay together in situations and in cities that are not highly populated with people that look like us and things like that. So it's really, my approach would be to try to engage if there's an employee resource group. I work with a small firm, so that I don't have that. So what I do is really try to, check the social medias and find out what avenues and outlets are there in those respective cities. Partnering with other organizations that are like NSBE in those cities that are looking for the same thing is another option. And then not being afraid, because we do have membership at large. So, it may be going to another suburb or maybe a neighboring city to just kind of hone and see what kind of membership is in those areas as well. But I do recognize that challenge. Well, I want to cut that because I want to be mindful of what we have next in store for you. So what we can do with those additional questions, if it's a way where we can save those questions and possibly maybe answer those out with also I'll add those to the slide and maybe answer them or something. We'll figure out how to accommodate those questions that possibly have been asked already. But I do want to set the stage for, as we talked about earlier, providing you with the opportunity to get professional development outside of conferences and also just be a part of what the special interest groups have to offer membership. But up next, we have Ms. Diamond Williams, who is the director of the Process Improvement SIG. She is actually going to provide a virtual town hall on establishing our data quality for you, which is actually coming up in like a couple minutes. So right after this call, you can, refill and then actually click on that link right there and join Ms. Williams for that presentation or that town hall, and it should be awesome.
Hey, actually, you guys can stay on this link. You don't have to click over to the other link.
That is even better. So we can just stay live. Again, I thank you I thank you for the opportunity to serve in this capacity. Nesby, I love Nesby and all that it offers to me, as well as the membership. I enjoy being a member, a leader, and I look forward to continuing to provide you service. But it has been my honor for this year to work with the team that I've had, and I look forward to continuing that with Ms. Majid. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your dedication to the society. You guys stay safe. This is not over, but stay safe and stay smart. And this too shall pass. So till we meet again, I bid you adieu. Thank you and have a great day. And stay on.